So for this video, I had a plan. I was gonna go on a grocery run and then show you how to make golden milk the proper way. With some fresh turmeric root, sliced and simmered slowly and made with intention. But my grocery run did not turn out that way. And honestly, it reminded me of something way more important. So today, we're pivoting. I'm making golden milk today in a way that showcases what I'm trying to get across in all of these videos, which is that the practicality and flexibility that we bring to the kitchen is just as important as the cooking process itself. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share my new favorite golden milk spot that's out in Sweden that we just stumbled upon the other day. It's so cute. Okay, so let's do some shopping. When I was running a small cafe in Portland, I was serving hundreds of people each week and making everything from scratch. Baking, cooking, shopping, recipe development, all of it. And when you're doing that at scale, something shifts in how you think. Creation is no longer about your ego. It becomes about practicality and sustainability. It has to be thoughtful and important, but also realistic. If a recipe only works under perfect conditions, it doesn't survive. And that important lesson I learned applies just as much here in Sweden in my everyday kitchen as it did in my busy cafe. And it matters a lot when I go to a cute grocery store like this and I realize that there's no turmeric root anywhere. But being able to pivot and think on your feet and keep an open mind even when you had an idea in place, I think is such a valuable tool. It allows you to appreciate the innate chaos of life more and also have a more dynamic approach to everything that you do. When you grow food or work closely with the land, preparation isn't just a step, it's part of the nourishment process. But I also learned, especially in over 4 years in that cafe kitchen, that time is a luxury that not everybody has. And this is where I think a little bit of that nuance gets lost in these conversations about plant medicine and food. It doesn't have to be traditional versus modern, or science versus herbs, or ritual versus practicality. We can incorporate all of it. We can understand bioavailability and still value cultural history. We can read clinical studies and still simmer something slowly because it feels good and grounding. We can use pre-ground spices like I'm going to do here without feeling like we compromised our integrity. Because the truth is that recipes evolve because we evolve. So let's talk about golden milk. Golden milk comes from Ayurvedic traditions in India. Traditionally, it's a simple preparation. Milk warmed with turmeric, sometimes black pepper, sometimes ghee. It wasn't designed as a wellness drink. It was part of daily life. Turmeric itself has been used for thousands of years as food, as dye, as medicine. What's interesting is how modern research has started to catch up to some of these traditional uses. The main compound people talk about in regards to turmeric is the polyphenol curcumin. That's been studied quite extensively for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. There's also really fascinating studies around how it affects the gut barrier and how that affects our overall health, since so much of our immune system is in our gut. The reason it is often paired with black pepper and fat is to ensure maximum bioavailability of the important nutrients contained within turmeric. The combination of warming spices and the turmeric and the coconut and everything in here, from a research standpoint, makes this very traditional drink quite elegantly constructed. By substituting ground turmeric in this recipe, it makes it a bit more accessible on a weeknight, after work, or when you're tired and you just want something warm and grounding that's easy, but also feels good. And that's so much of what I want to convey that plant medicine and healthy eating should be. It should be something that we can easily integrate into every day to live more vital lives. Adaptability is not a downgrade. It's part of the natural evolution of our food.
Okay, we did it. And I cannot stop drinking this. It's so warming and lovely. It just feels like an inside hug. But really, this is like the kind of warming, sitting with a book, looking out a window at snow kind of drink, if you know what I'm talking about. Making it with the milk you want and then adding the coconut cream at the end, it just gives it this richness that is lacking with just the milk, and it's my favorite combo because you don't get as much of the saturated fat of coconut, even though it's not tied to cardiovascular disease, but it just kind of balances out. It's the lightness and the spice and the warmth and then the fat at the end. It's everything. A lot of times what I'll do so I can have it more regularly since I have blood sugar issues is I'll do like half stevia, and a little bit of honey, because the honey gives it kind of that body. Maple syrup is also really good. I did that at my cafe a lot. But you can't go wrong, and it's the best because you can adjust it to your personal needs and tastes. So in closing, honestly, at the end of the day, I am glad the turmeric wasn't there. Because if it had been, I think I would have missed the larger point. Flexibility is a major aspect in how we reclaim our relationship with our eating. Quality and practicality are not opposites, they're partners. And maybe the most important thing about a recipe isn't whether it's perfectly optimized or ultimately traditional. What matters the most is that it continues on through time, continuing to nourish people in the specific way that they need. So if you're making this at home, I hope you make it in the way that fits your life. That honestly might be the most traditional choice of all. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite warming drink that feels like a hug?